10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to DFW Roundtable Podcast, Texas' most powerful and entertaining podcast, bringing you the best and entertaining interviews from the industry's top music entertainers, sports athletes, and much more. So grab a seat and a cold one and watch, listen, and enjoy. And now here is your host, Ruben Campos.
Hey, and welcome back, everybody, to the DFW Roundtable Podcast. As you can see, we've got a very super special guest with us, multi-Grammy award winner. Elida, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, what a pleasure to have you, Elida. Like I said, when we were talking earlier, huge fan, huge follower for a long time. And boy, what a career you've had. I think now you're looking at close to 30 years, ¿verdad? In the industry?
Yeah, a little over 30 years.
That is super impressive. A number of awards from a Tejano Music Award standpoint, all the way up to Grammys throughout your career, Elida. But definitely want to go back to when you first started. I think it was 1992 when you launched your career. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. 92.
All right. So 92, you began, and right off the bat, Luna Llena. I'll never forget that song. Never will forget. I think that song itself stands with time. Iconic. And that album did tremendous. And then you followed up your sophomore album, just did great too. So talk to me about that, Elida. First and foremost, how did you get started in the music?
I wanted to sing since at a very young age. My dad, he claims that I was about 2-ish when I showed an interest in music. I mean, all I've ever known is music. That's all that's all I've ever done my entire life. At the age of 9 years old, I had been on the Johnny Canales show.
Oh wow!
And that basically really just really inspired me even more to consider this as a profession. And then seeing Laura Canales, because she was the first female I ever saw perform on a stage, and so she was my biggest inspiration.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, most definitely, for sure. So you knew very young that this is your call.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and even now, like, I think as I got older, I pursued other things as far as like, still within the artistic realm, because I consider cosmetics, in that realm, because I was able to put my stamp on it, brand it.
Right.
And we decided to name it Colores after one of the songs that we recorded. So we named it Colores Cosmetics. And then I also have an event center called Elida Reyna in my hometown of Mercedes. So to me, that all falls in the entertainment, under that umbrella, I guess you can say, in the music business. And so these are all things that I didn't know I wanted to do, because of course in the beginning it was just, I was all about the music and the songwriting. I was writing a lot of songs and about my life experiences, and then the guys and I would get together and we would arrange the songs, and do all that good stuff. So I did that for a long time, and then once I stopped getting my heart broken, I wasn't writing so much anymore, But and I still to this day I write sporadically here and there, not as much as I used to in the beginning. In the beginning, I was writing all the time.
Got it. Well, some of the things I got to tell you, I was gonna talk about that too. Basically, your entrepreneurship that you've taken, and that's pretty big, because I think your makeup line within itself, I've seen a lot of great comments on it. It's doing very well. That's very inspirational. From an entrepreneur standpoint, and then you have your event center going on. So to manage your band and stay on the road and keep your business, it takes a special person. So I know your days run pretty long, but they have to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty busy. People are like, "Why aren't you on Facebook as much as I would like?" And the thing is, I'm really busy. And then aside from that, I still have a 16-year-old daughter at home, and so she's involved in a lot of activities too. And then, like right now, we're in the studio. So, and being in the studio, being in the creation process of like all of that is a lot of fun, but it's also, not only is that going on, but you have my husband Lalo, who's in and out of the studio because he's also helping book. So we're trying to record here, and then he's getting a phone call, and so he's out the door. And so, I mean, it's all great. Like these things,
right?
Busy for sure is a positive. That's what keeps us functioning. If we were not doing, then that becomes a problem, because and then you're just, we don't like to be stagnant. We like to always be productive and working and positive, and so there's always something within a day. There's always
Elida, one of the things you just mentioned, and I have to talk about it because you hit the nail on the head. You don't like to be stagnant, and I've talked to a couple established artists already that I've had on the show, and it's truly an honor for them, at least for me, it was for you, for them to say, you know what, man, one of the persons that has continually stayed consistent in La Onda has been Elida. She has not skipped a beat all this time, but it goes back to what you just said. You don't like to be stagnant. You just like to keep the grind going, ¿verdad?
Yeah, you have to. I think COVID, of course, didn't help
right.
any of us.
Right.
That's when we started up the makeup line. We're like, well, we just can't stay still. We got to do something. So, we were able to start up on the makeup line, which is something I always wanted to do, but I was always so busy because we were on the road and never had time to sit down and create. And so I got together with Jimencio, who helped me put it all together. And he's our designer creator. He's also the one that does all our albums. Every picture that you've seen the past couple of years has all been Jimencio. So he and I get together, and it's like the meeting of the minds, because we think a lot alike, and we came up with the idea to call the brand new line. We named it Tequilera by Colores Cosmetics. And so, I mean, we get together and we come up with great ideas, and then when it comes to the songwriting or the arranging, now what's been happening with our songwriting is that we get such great songs from other songwriters that it's like a lot of times they're so much better than my songs, or whatever, and so we just end up using those. But I know that, and I've had a lot of fans that have reached out to me and said, we really want your perspective. We want you to write your own song.
Right.
And there's nothing like connecting with the crowd, especially like when you write a song and then people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this, and thank you so much for writing about this, or thank you so much for recording this song that this happened to me. But you're also no better person to talk about your songs. Who else better to express them and to let the people know, look, I wrote this song, or this song was written, or we recorded this song because of the message. And feel like all these women or just anybody in general are going to be able to relate to it.
Well, you all have done a tremendous job in doing that, Elida, because going back to I guess, to Luna Llena, but you've got two that I call that are Tejano anthems. Luna Llena, for some reason, is one of those that just can keep playing and nobody gets tired of, and can, I don't care what year it is, you're going to connect with that song. Yeah. And of course, everybody's favorite, Duele. The minute they hear that trumpet, the gritos start, right? And to see the audience, Elida, when I see your video post, to see the audience connect and sing with you, it's pretty amazing. So you guys have done a tremendous job of managing that, right, and picking the right songs from that to be able to connect to your point with the audience, right, and the crowd, right, and that's just been amazing. But
you just never know. I never thought Duele was going to be the hit that it became. I just wrote it because it came from my heart and something that I was going through, and it was actually just a filler. We needed one more song.
Oh, wow.
And so we decided to put it in there. And then that was a song that hit. That was like the biggest song on the album.
That's still one of the biggest songs, because when you think about it, right now, iconic songs, everybody says, when they hear Tragos Amargos, right, El Grito starts. When they hear Elida Duele, right? And then one of the other songs that stands within times too has been Bobby's, right, Desvelado. Those songs are going to stand for a long time. But to see the crowd connect, the only two that I think are gritos from the Max, estragos amargos in yours.
Wow.
And the bottles start coming out, man, after that, right? So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
pretty special, Elia, pretty special.
It is.
I had Milo on the show not too long ago. He talked about EYA and the family. He goes, man, I never really knew. I always heard about it, but I really never knew how special it was until I got in the band, man. And he goes, man, I tell you what, man, whatever you hear about EYA, it's true, brother. So what's the secret to that, Elida? That's a huge compliment también, by the way. That's awesome.
That really touches me. It really warms my heart because we love Milo, and he's brought a lot to UIA. I mean, he's a monster musician, as you know.
Yeah.
And so to be able to have him in our team now, it's such a pleasure, such an honor. And we sing together now on stage, and that's a lot of fun, because it only adds to the show. So we're very, very honored to have him. But honestly, I think it's just a family. We're just more family oriented. It's a family unit type of thing, and there aren't any egos. Everybody, it's a team, and we're all the same. We're all the same, and I'm very fortunate in that I've always had a group of guys around me that we just take care of each other. We just take care of each other on the road, and we do everything together. Like, we have sound check, I'm at sound check. If we all get there together, we all leave together. If we have to go out of state, if they have to drive, I drive with them. I don't
Gotcha.
We're always together doing it. And so I think that in itself creates a bond and a relationship with me with each one of the guys, and we all have a relationship, and I think that's what makes it extra special. I mean, and that goes without saying, the band that I had, my first band, we just had a barbecue the other day. It was Epi's birthday, and we celebrated his birthday, and so they're my family, and they will always be my family. And anybody who comes in to UIA leaves a family member.
I guess that's a secret sauce for them. It's the bring him in as it be one of your own family members, ¿verdad? But as we all know, man, from a band perspective, that's very hard to do, especially cuando pasa tiempo, right? It seems like sometimes the band, instead of getting tighter, they get a little bit more separated. Yeah. But for you all, it's been family, like you said, all the way.
It's a family, and they bring their wives, and I think, just from what I've heard, because I've never experienced this, but there might be some, when a new member comes in, maybe they're like, well, they don't know what to expect, and the wives or whatever. But then they also become part of the family too, and
Gotcha.
It's a great relationship, and we just have a good time. We enjoy the road, and the guys don't really drink either. I'm probably the biggest drinker of all of them, to be honest with you. But I mean, everything in moderation, of course. And it's just drug free. It's drug free, and and that's just by choice. I don't even tell the guys, don't do this or don't do that.
Right.
That's not who I am. But it's just, luckily, we've had a good run, and we've had a bunch of great guys come in.
It's just what they call good old fashioned family love and respect for each other, right? That makes it work.
And that creates longevity. That creates what we call the lifers. We've had some of the guys that have been with us for almost for sure over 5 years.
Wow.
Jacob's been with us for about 8 years, I think. And yeah, I mean, they usually stick around that long. So.
Well, it's no secret, Ellie, that why, again, you get the compliments that you do from your peers to say, hey, Elida's done her part to carry the load, as well as the band, ¿verdad? Because from a consistency standpoint, I mean, every year you all keep pushing the boundaries, right, and putting out great new music out there. So amazing work, but it goes back to what you just said. It's just having a dedication and bringing that group together.
For sure.
One of the things I read too, Elia, I wasn't aware of this, but I also read up on this, that you had the privilege to perform for President Obama.
Yes. Well,
wow.
let's say, we'll call it what it is. It was a concert for him, but he was doing all the rounds. And so we didn't get to see him or anything like that. I wouldn't even know if he got to see us perform. However, I know there were a lot of celebrities that were in the building. They got to see us perform. And I also had friends tell me that they saw this comedian, George Lopez, was there.
Okay.
George Lopez and some actresses and all. They were up in like a VIP section. And that when I sang Duele, because I performed with mariachi, it was a very famous mariachi, which I can't remember the name at the moment. But Lila Downs, she performed. I performed with Michael Salgado. So it was a very famous, not Tejano, first name, but yes, just a world-renowned mariachi.
Right.
With them, and Obama was apparently there somewhere because there was a lot of people. But getting back to the whole George Lopez thing, they were all singing "Duele." They were all singing.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
That's amazing because I didn't even know that the song was being played in California. But apparently, a lot of the mariachis know it in California. The song has trickled its way nationwide.
Wow, that is great. Super.
And a lot of mariachis, that has become like a standard for a lot of mariachis. That is
right.
Wow.
Yeah, truly an honor. Again,
it is.
That is awesome. Well, yeah, one of the other things too, Elida, I didn't know this, but for a little bit, you lived here in Dallas before you moved to the Valley?
When I was young, yeah. So my mom and my dad were struggling as a young couple. And my dad was looking for work. And so I remember I was born in, it's just crazy. I was born in San Antonio because I have a lot of family here in San Antonio, or in San Antonio. And because I'm in Corpus right now, in the studio. But then we moved back to the Valley because that's where my dad's family's from. And then when my dad couldn't find work, we moved to Waco for about several months. He was getting his welding license, and then from there moved to Dallas. And my dad got a job there. We did with some uncles, well, an uncle of mine. And then we got our own little house. We lived on Odessa Street for 5 years. We lived in Dallas till I was about 4 or 5, around there. And then I moved back to the Valley when I was about 9.
Gotcha.
And so during the time that I was in Dallas, Reyna, which I'm sure you know Ray Reyna.
Yes.
His dad was always playing the guitar. Always. We had a barbecue. There was a family gathering in Dallas. He was always playing the guitar. And I just remember always thinking, because he would play like beautiful boleros and just beautiful, his own rendition, though, of course, with his own style. And it always intrigued me, like all the kids were always in awe of him, and he would sit us all down, and he would play. He'd sit on a chair and he would play. And I just remember being mesmerized by the way he sang and his feel, and thinking like, wow. And now looking back in retrospect, I realized that he was a big influence for me I was 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, but they were always playing the guitar, him and his brothers. They were always singing, and so just kind of stayed with me. So
that's
then,
awesome.
Moving to the Valley, my uncle, my dad's brother, played the saxophone, and he saw something in me. Heard me sing one day because my dad would always talk to my uncle about how much I loved to sing. I was always in my room. I was always locked in my room, playing Laura Canales records or just different music. And I would always sing along. Of course, we didn't have a microphone with karaoke.
Right, like we do now. Yep.
We do now. So I would just sing along with my records. And so my uncle started inviting me. So he used to perform in an orquesta. Like imagine like a saxophone, bunch of saxophone players with trombone and like all that conguero and stuff. And so he's like, come on over. And he would take out his sheet music and they would play these traditional songs, and he would tell me, come on, sing. So I would sing like Amor Eterno or like the traditional songs,
right?
But he saw something in me, and I he it made me feel like, wow, he sees it. He sees something, which made me keep going.
Even try harder. Yes.
And so I think it was soon after that, my dad's like, you know what? They're going to have this thing on the Johnny Gonzalez show. Why don't we put you on it? And I was like, okay. It was some kind of a talent search kind of thing. I was like, okay. I was 9. And so I was on the show and I sang a song. It was an English song. And again, it was not karaoke, but it was playback. So the public couldn't hear my voice, but Johnny could hear my voice. And I remember that after the performance, he came up to me and he kneeled down because of course I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And he said, "Wow, you guys can't hear, but this little girl's got a voice on her," And again, it just like my self-esteem was at of course, it just it made me feel great. And then of course when I went back to school, the kids are like, "Oh, that was a little girl on the Johnny Gonzalez show." So and so just through the years, I just kept pursuing it, and played with a lot of local bands, and just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
And then in college, I joined the mariachi. The mariachi became mariachi, and became the lead female singer in the mariachi. And funny story is, so this barbecue that I was at Epi's house, at Noe's house for Epi. So our bass player Noe, his cousin Willie used to be in the mariachi with us. He used to play the accordion, and Willie was telling my husband the story, which I don't remember. But we had to audition for the mariachi, which I don't remember auditioning. But he says, "Yeah, I had to audition," and he goes, "And I remember when you sang." He goes, "You blew us all away." And I was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And so to hear him say that, I feel like I was a very confident person, very confident singer. And that surprised me because as many years as I've been in the industry, it was just nice to hear that.
Right. No, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
That is amazing, Elida. What a story there. Thanks for sharing that. Going back all the way to when you were 4. And I guess at that point, your calling, right? Hey, this is what I want to do.
I knew. That's why when kids tell me, or like my daughter tells me, like, don't you know? Because I knew at a young age, And
Yes.
kind of already have an inkling of what my daughter wants to go into. Well, we're trying to get her into wanting her to do more of like a newscaster sports.
Okay.
Thing.
Yeah.
She's got the personality for it, She's always making her videos on TikTok. Desde estaba chiquita, she's always, since she was little, she would put her stuffed animals. She'd make herself an audience, and then she'd perform for them, or she would, just put on a show for them. And so we tell her that's what we think you should do, But then again, my parents didn't force me into this.
Right.
And so I told my husband, and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. Our parents didn't push us; they just encouraged us, and
right.
Encourage her and let her do whatever feels right for her."
But that's a fine line too, ¿verdad? Because you can kind of see, hey, you have the talent for this, ¿verdad? That you have the knack for this thing. Keep it going. But again, there's a fine line to where, like, I don't want to push her too much.
Yeah, we don't want to push her and discourage her because she wanted to sing Tejano, but it's really hard. It's not that easy to sing. Of course, it would help. I always use the story with Bobby Pulido. It could be a double-edged sword.
Yes.
On one hand, your father's known and he's popular, but what if you don't, you just don't hit it off with people and it just doesn't go well? Well, Bobby has surpassed, gone above and beyond. And so I'm so proud of him for that. And maybe my daughter could do the same. Who knows? We're just, as parents, we're just being parents, and we're just being overprotective, I guess.
Yeah, cautious is the word, I guess, you want to be, right? Yeah. Has she ever taken a stage with you, Elida? At any point, or maybe at home, just sing with you at a point or another?
We mess around every now and then, like we'll do a TikTok here and there, but she's come on stage once, but not something that we've talked about. And I tell her, if that's what you really want, then that's how you got to do it. You got to come on stage and sing a song. I mean, and that's what you're going to know.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Hey, and one of the other hardest things I think, right, from an artist perspective, is that you and Lalo, husband and wife, right? That's great because you guys are on the road and everything together. But when you get into that artistic mode, right, everybody becomes their own, ¿verdad? How difficult is that, especially where you're at right now, right? You've got your creative mind going. He's got his as a producer, right? He already has what he wants to do, everything else. Has it ever get to a point where you guys bump heads or anything like that?
We just bumped heads yesterday.
Oh.
And because he gets in there and he wants to get everything done, and he's got a certain way of doing things, and you know, we were just kind of trying to figure something out. So we bump heads a lot, for sure. I'm just being honest. As a matter of fact, when we wrote a song together sometime back, we've written several, but one that he had been asking me over and over, like, you need to write a song, you need to write the lyrics, I want to write the lyrics, and never got around to it. And then the day came, and I needed to record it, and the music was already done. I just needed to lay down the vocals. It didn't even have lyrics.
Oh.
So he kind of ticked me off, and so I went outside, and within 30 minutes, I walked back in, and I already had the song, and it was actually Prefiero Morir that we wrote.
You wrote it in 30 minutes?
Yeah, in 30 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Oye, Elida, ¿y con coraje o nomás un poquito?
Oh, a lot of coraje. Yeah. I think I even gave him I did this, and then I recorded it. Yeah.
That's what I mean. And that's the whole thing, right? You guys go through that aspect of it too, to where it's great to have your husband and your wife, right? But then there's also that to where it's a challenge, right? But you guys have done an amazing job managing that. It's not easy, especially when you get into that studio, right? He wants one thing and you're saying, no, I'm not hearing it. That I want to do it this way. So I could see how that could be.
Yeah.
I'm
feeling it, like this. And then in the end, I pretty much get what I want, but
typical woman, right? I still get my way.
I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah, one thing about Lalo too, Elida, I want to ask you. I've not had the privilege to meet him, right? But everybody I talk to, right? Joey and Joey Jams and Milo, everybody loves Lalo, right? It's like, man, he's like a best friend. A guy, it's like, man, it's amazing to hear how, I guess, positive they think about him and how they look up to Lalo, right? So, man, I've never met Lalo, but I got to tell you, just by what I hear, he seems to be the amazing guy, right? Easy to get along with and so forth.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's very honest, and he's going to tell you if you want the truth. He's going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. I mean, you want the truth, he's going to give you the truth. He doesn't
sugarcoat it.
If anything, I just tell him he needs to be careful how he says things, and be Christ-like, because I just also became born-again Christian. So I tell him it's how, we approach certain situations. You have to say what you feel, but do it in a tender way.
Right.
And I think it says volumes about you as a person. And he's like, you're right. You're right.
Yep. Well, it's working because from what I hear, man, positive vibes from there too. So kudos to him as well as what he's doing in the studio, what you guys have done in the studio. Yeah. So speaking of studio, you just released your new single, Cierra esa boquita, right? Amazing song. Perfect sound on it, right? Video came out, Elida, también beautiful video. Talk to me a little about the song and then also the purpose. You're in the studio finishing off this album that's coming. So can you share a little bit more about that? But let's go back first with the single.
Yeah, it's called Cierra esa boquita, and it's just the lyric is amazing. We've really been focused more on the lyrics, and of course the melody. The melody is what's gonna draw you to the song.
Yeah.
And let's face it, we live in a world where everybody's thought process is like we're all short. I had the word in my mind just now. It's like you're on TikTok and you're just like sifting through short wired, or what is it called? Not short wired.
Attention span is real short, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We have shorter attention spans. There you go. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yep.
But our attention spans are shorter, and so you got to kind of get to the point a little faster and make it interesting. And so we try to do that with every intro to make sure you capture the artist, capture the audience. And I think we accomplished that with this song.
No doubt. The accordion, the bajo, gives it that conjunto norteño style too, man. And but yet it has that Tejano flavor in it. So it's a good mixture of everything.
I mean, we're Tejanos. I mean, that's who we are. But at the same time, that I think that the music is changing and it's evolving so much that you have to somewhat evolve with it.
Yep.
But it's like at the same time, I'm missing the Tejano because that's who I am.
Yeah.
And so as we're speaking, the guys are working on a Tejano ranchera, because regardless of like where the music is going, we also have to stay true, or I feel like I need to stay true to who I am too. But
100%.
For sure. So when we get a song, we try to give it the flavor that it deserves, but I also feel but I also feel like I have to give it my flair, or give it that the essence of who we are. And so Sierra Esa Boquita is no different. And the lyrics are amazing. The songwriter he's out of Mexico, and I wish I had his name with me. Maybe I can have Mark look that one up for me. The songwriter to Sierra Esa Boquita. But which I want to send a big shout out to Mark here for Freddie Records.
For sure. Saludos, brother. Saludos. Yeah. Oye, Elida, but one of the things you mentioned, the lyrics, hey, they hit home. If you really pay attention to it, wow, man.
For sure. Calladita se ve más, in other words, like, netas por tu bien, te lo digo quien si quisiera hablar, te dejaría sin nada. Anyway, yeah, you got to check out the song. It's just a really good song.
Oh, for sure. And what I'm going to do at the end here, I'm going to put the YouTube link so everybody can check out your video as well. Once they check out the podcast, they can go straight to the video.
Sure. I just wanted to send a shout out to the songwriter Miguel Zola. That's right.
Perfect.
Miguel Zola. Yeah.
Amazing job, Miguel. Amazing job.
Written other songs for us as well. Let me write that down. So he's written other songs for us. Thank you.
Oye, Elida, then you mentioned you're in the studio, of course, finishing your album. When will it drop? Release date for it?
Well, Sierra Esa Boquita, we're hoping that we can, of course, extend and have it on the airwaves as long as we can, especially because we just released the video about 3 weeks ago,
maybe 2.5, yeah, at the most. Yes, it's still fresh.
It's so fresh, and so we kind of want to keep it flowing probably till after Christmas, maybe around New Year-ish, and then we'll have a new single. God willing, we'll have a new single.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, we have an EP coming out with 6 songs, and of the 6, we've already released 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
And so, but as soon as we're done with this EP, we're already getting started with the new project.
Wow.
Which, we're looking at. And it'll be a dream project for me because it'll be half of it will be mariachi, and then the other half will be conjunto and Tejano and everything.
Wow!
I've been wanting to do.
That sounds exciting, Elida, because that really is you, right? A little bit of conjunto, a little bit of mariachi.
Yeah,
that's going to be amazing.
It that is who I am, and
no doubt.
And the Tejano is just like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what we come up with. And
Oye, Elida, and speaking of Tejano, one of the things I wanted to ask you too, ¿verdad? Because when I looked at it, and I was talking again, we get to talk to a lot of artists and during the interviews and stuff like that. But when we talk off camera and everything like that, man, one of the things the Rio Grande Valley is not truly recognized for is the amount of talent that it's put out from a Tejano aspect of it.
I agree.
My goodness. When you look at the artist, you don't have enough fingers.
Yeah. Tons of them. That's the capital of Tejano now.
I was just about to say that people call it San Antonio, ¿verdad? Pero man, when you look at it's like there's no comparison.
Yeah,
There really isn't.
I mean, just look at starting with like Mas, because they're the
Yes.
you know,
The iconics one of the iconic bands that came out of the valley, Rubén Vela from a conjunto aspect of it, ¿verdad? And it keeps going. Roberto Pulido, again from the valley, Laura Canales, right?
from Kingsville.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, close. Just so many. Jesse Turner.
Yeah. Jesse Turner.
Who else? Costumbre, which was, they're actually from Rio Grande. Who else is there?
Oh, now you got Frontera, Secreto.
Look, I mean, yeah. Frontera.
All 956. Yep. Ahí está es como dicen, ahí está la papa. That's where it's at, really, man. And it's been going on for decades. But it goes back to the roots. And one of the things that I credit the Valley has its own.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. But the Valley has a very own unique sound. I mean, when you compare a Valley Tejano band to a San Antonio band, day and night, ¿verdad? Even though it's Tejano, it has a unique sound to it.
Yeah. I can't explain it, to be honest with you. I think the reason why a lot of the bands from the Valley have succeeded is because we're so close to the border. And
right.
So you have the influences of Mexico, like the Rio Tobar, and you have, just massive influx of like groups that are from the frontera that we're influenced by.
Right.
And then our upbringing, the way we were brought up, listening to Ramon Ayala.
Yep.
Listening to, like for me, growing up, I listened to a lot of, at the time, Ana Gabriel was very strong, and Rocío Dúrcal. And so you incorporate that with Laura Canales. For me, those are my influences. And you hear that in my voice, you hear it in my music, in my style. And then my band, well, they were influenced by Gilberto Pérez, and then like Narciso Martinez, by Roberto Pulido, Romance.
Oh, Romance is an amazing band too.
I mean,
yeah,
that I was influenced by as well. So you have all of that, is created Elida Reyna, so to speak, And then, a big one, which they are not from the Valley, but you also hear influences of La Mafia in our music because of my band members, because that's who they were in.
Agree. Yep, and you can hear it a little bit. Yes, you definitely can.
For sure. And so, what can I say?
I think a lot too, really, that I've seen, and I saw that you all put a concert for it too. The difference is the Valley puts a lot. The schools put a lot into the music programs.
Yes.
Santa Rosa has an amazing, band group, right? You all put a concert in Mercedes to benefit that. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes. We're trying to implement something like that in Mercedes, my hometown. Eventually, what I would love, this is my pipe dream, is to implement this at as many schools as we can throughout the state of Texas. I mean, after all, Mexicanos, or should I say Hispanics, we are becoming the majority.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
I mean, why is this not possible? But even more so the mariachi program, because we also have a mariachi program, and then they have this program that we're trying to implement, which is more about the Tejano Conjunto program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
where these kids can actually learn how to play the accordion, play the bajo sexto, play the drums, play, these instruments that have molded are part of our culture. I mean, they are our culture. That's who we come from, where we come from. And so that is what I was striving. That's what I was striving for, was to create or to get these instruments. Like we had this big concert to raise money so that we can buy these instruments for these kids.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. One of the other things too, man, is that it's opening. It could possibly open up the door for somebody that didn't have an opportunity, right? Providing them a guitar to practice on, an accordion, a bajo, something like that, because that could end up being they could be the next Elida for all we know, right?
I mean, that's what I said all along. Um, like I've always said. I mean, look at this little boy that sings with Frontera. He came from Edinburgh High School,
Right.
and
Yep.
so, and I can only imagine who his influences were, because I know his dad was heavily influenced by, the music that's being played here in our area, and here in the valley. And so now look at their style. It's still Tejano.
Exactly.
They're a
Right.
band.
Yes.
But, it's no different than from when, and I just shared the story that when Tejano was so strong in the 90s, that's when we kind of came in 1992. And it was so strong. You had like Selena, Emilio, La Mafia, and then all the other bands were kind of in there somewhere. Tropa F was really strong.
Exactly. Yes.
Grande, all of these bands were just like right there. Like they were all leading the pack. They were all leading the pack. Then Selena passed away, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, everything just kind of came to a halt.
I was just going to say it halted for a little bit, ¿verdad?
A lot.
Yeah.
10 to 15 years halted.
Wow.
That's what it feels like. That's what it felt like. But during that time, we're all kind of trying to find our stepping, like what's next? Right?
Yeah.
What to do next? Because we were still trying to find our own way, and then this happened where everything was being canceled. Everything was just complete halt. Okay.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Intocable hit the airwaves, and that's where that trend began.
Yep.
And everything changed.
It did. Radio stations, the whole thing flipped from Tejano over. Yes.
And so
I agree.
Trying to find our space, our way. And so that's what happened.
Well, and that's when you guys come in as part of that, ¿verdad? And the creativity from y'all's perspective to not stay stagnant, and to continue pushing forward.
Yeah.
And gracias a Dios, it's gotten you where it's gotten you.
Because at that time, everybody was kind of shifting, like, do we do this? Do we do that? Do we do that? And it's like, no, we're just got to keep on,
Yep.
keep doing what we were doing and just hope that, and we're not always right. Sometimes Duele, we didn't know Duele was going to be a hit. Songs out, you just don't know. You just got to feel in your heart if that's what you need to do. Then you do it. Just put your whole heart and soul into it.
Right.
And just.
When it's worked out, thank God for it, ¿verdad? It's really worked out.
Put out the you're in a skyscraper, you kind of just toss it out and then just hope that it falls on its feet,
Well, Elida, I like to do a little segment called Getting to Know, and in this case would be Getting to Know Elida. It's just a few questions that provides our fans a little bit of insight on some of the things that we may not know about Elida. So going to ask you a few things. Okay. First and foremost, musical influences throughout your life. Can you name a few?
Musical influences, well, for sure, Laura. And then Ana Gabriel, Laura Pausini was a big one for me when I was younger. Miriam Hernandez, which a lot of artists are not familiar with her, but I used to watch her a lot. La India.
Okay.
She's a big influence for me when I was younger. Still to this day, I love her music. Gloria Estefan was another big influence for me. I know there's one I haven't mentioned. Ana Gabriel and
those are all icons, man. Puro heavy duty right there. Those are all big icons.
On Selena, of course, she's everybody's inspiration, but but growing up, that's why those are the
yes, most definitely. How about favorite music? Like if I was to get your phone and go to your music section, what am I going to find there?
You're going to find Shania Twain.
Oh, country. Okay.
Well, I love that she's a songwriter.
Yes.
She's a leader. She writes a lot of her own. I guess I just connected with her on that level.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. I love her music. What will you find? Maybe like a song of Cher. You'll find a song of who do I like? Andrea Bocelli. I love
Oh,
her.
wow. Okay.
Um, that's a good question.
I know it stuns a lot of people. It's like, man, I really got to think about this one.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, just a mixture of everything, you would say, right?
Midland. I like a couple of their songs, and I'm not a country fanatic, so to speak, at all whatsoever. But every now and then, if I hear a good song, I'll just add it to my playlist.
How about favorite color? What's your favorite color?
Oh, by
Purple?
far, always and forever purple. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. And your favorite food?
Sushi.
Sushi.
Sushi, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I thought you were going to say Whataburger or something like that.
No, I mean, I love Whataburger, but
But it's bad for us. I know. Everything that tastes good is bad for us, unfortunately.
terrible. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Elia. Well, let's get to the point. We're close to Christmas, so the first thing I want to do, if you have any special Christmas shout outs you want to send to everybody, and then as well as to talk about any upcoming tours, presentations that you got, any shows you got coming up.
Well, I just became a born again Christian. I used to be of another religion that did not celebrate anything, and so to be able to wish people a Merry Christmas and not feel guilty about it, this is the first time I ever do that.
Wow.
So that's big. So wishing everybody a very beautiful Merry Christmas, and just not to forget why we celebrate Christmas, and that's
Yes.
Christ and what He gave up for us, that He sacrificed His own life for to save us. That to me is big. I just became a born again Christian, and
What a special moment, Elia. Thank you for sharing that, and congratulations. That's a huge step in life, right?
Because I was in this belief for 50 years. I was a part of a religion for 50 years of my life, and always feeling guilty about everything we did, when Jesus tells you that we're sinners, no matter
Right.
we'll never be perfect. We are sinners, and always feeling guilty for everything that I did, and I just try to walk as straight a path as I could. But they want perfection, and we are not perfect. And
Exactly.
and He says you're going to stumble each and every day. He goes, but all I'm asking is that you put your faith in me, as your Lord and your Savior. I am the truth, the life, the way. And
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Wow, Elida, you gave me chills, because that to hear that from somebody is so special, right? Especially when they become born again, and not only that, but it becomes an inspiration for others as well, right? Because that's pretty special.
And it totally changed my life, my outlook on life, and knowing that I'm going to be okay. That no matter what, I'm going to be okay. And it's like Jesus said, as long as you pray to have your sins washed away, because again, we're all sinners, and
we are
so many things, some of us unspeakable things, and even like that, He forgives us. What a loving God,
Mm-hmm.
And so that, and
he lost his life for us, right? For our sins. And that's something, to your point, especially now in Christmas. But what a special Christmas this is going to be for you and your family as well, right? Now?
I went all out. Like my house, I come from, again, a family where we never had a Christmas tree. And
right.
I mean, looking back, I tell everybody it wasn't a big deal, because I mean, when you don't have it, then you don't miss it.
Right.
And you see other families getting together, and for, like for menudo, for tamales, for, like, it's just the whole family comes into town. That never changed, though. Like we would go and visit my grandma, and we would, and she celebrated. But like, to see everybody getting gifts, and then I wouldn't get a gift, and it does something to you, even though you tell yourself it doesn't.
It does. Yeah, it does.
That I had an aunt who came in from Oklahoma, and we had gone to Kmart, and she was getting last minute gifts, and she asked me, uh, what doll do you want? And I was like, no, I don't want anything. No, I want to get you a doll. No. She's like, please. And I remember it was a doll that I had been wanting, that they had been showing in a commercial, that the doll that you feed it and then it poops.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one. Yes.
I wanted that doll so badly, and she bought it for me, and I never forgot. And I was 7 years old.
Wow.
Those are things.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah, and then to really truly know the meaning of it, right? It brings a whole perspective to it too.
Yes, for sure. That's the most important part of it. But just knowing that, and feeling like I shouldn't have this. I'm not allowed to have this. You know.
Yeah.
So again, the guilt part of it as a 6-year-old, you know, when this should be a time where everybody's enjoying and
have that joy in their heart, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So just real quickly, Eric, because it really intrigued me, and again, it moved me. What's been the biggest difference you've seen now, Elida, that you've been born again? Is it more from a feeling and emotional? Is your heart fuller now, or
I cry all the time of like from blessings, from being blessed.
Joys, yes.
Joy. I've had nothing but blessings since I became a born again Christian. I just, and anything you ask, and I don't mean in a like riches or anything. Like, I don't ask for riches. I just ask to be happy, for my family to have health and peace, and mostly health for my parents, for my friends, for my family, for everybody. That I pray for everybody now, whereas before it just seemed like I was just praying like, please just get me through this. Please.
Yes.
Or,
yeah.
please, you know, or I'm so sorry. Whatever, you know, like it was for me. It was a big one that is the guilt, and now I feel more carefree. I'm happier. I'm just happier.
Yeah.
Like something has been lifted off of me. Even I even had a tattoo put on. I just had it tattooed on me a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yes, it says "Be still." It's a scripture. It's a scripture in Psalms. Actually, I'm gonna have that put on here too, and it's just a reminder that when I start to get overwhelmed with life, that just to remember that, just put it all on on God.
Yep.
And that if we're feeling overstressed, that He's got us no matter what. God, He's got you. And that if He can know how many strands of hair you have in your head, how much does He love us enough? Even a bird, feathers. He knows how many feathers a bird has on its head. That He cares about that bird. How much more does He care about me?
I couldn't agree anymore.
You know, and so I think about those things. That sometimes when you feel like don't feel good enough, feel like things just aren't going your way, and it's just like, or something bad happens, you're like, I just pray about it. I just pray, and
isn't it crazy also, and kind of funny too, that you know, when you're not, now I could tell by what you're telling me that you went from your focus being like this to super sharp now, right? Everything is clear as daylight.
Oh my gosh. And I read the word every day. And it's not like before where you kind of feel like, oh, I have to. No, I
enjoy it. Yes.
I'm hungry for it. I'm hungry.
Yes.
What's next?
Yeah.
What does He have to say about this? What is He?
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I make Him happy, so I want to make sure that I'm doing the right things.
Super happy, Elida. Congratulations. That's a huge step, and continue prayers for you and blessings for everybody. And again, wishing everybody out there, all of you, is a very Merry Christmas out there. Have a great one.
And around this time in Christmas, there's so many people that have lost loved ones, and they're alone.
Yes. Right.
To know they're not alone. You know, God is there. You just have to pray and just feel that Holy Spirit and ask Him into your heart. You're never alone. He's always there, right by our. I'm going to start crying. He's right there by our side, always.
Yeah.
Everything that we do.
No, that's well said, Elida. And also, you mentioned something very important too, right? During the holidays, when we lose a loved one, the holidays are the hardest, man. And if you know of anybody or see anybody going through a hard time, go give them a hug and try to pick them back up, right? If you could share a little bit of love and a little bit, even if it's about God, to touch their heart and bring them back up, let's do that. And that's how you can bring more joy into this world.
For sure.
Yep. How about tour dates, Elida? What do you got coming up for the rest of the month of December and January, if you have anything?
Yes. Well, I know that the calls have been coming in for the new year. We've been getting a lot of calls, and last year in January, we did not play at all. And not because we didn't want to. There was just, for whatever reason,
nothing out there. Right.
We just didn't get any shows, which was kind of weird because we always had a lot of work in January. But now the calls are coming in again, and the calendar's filling up. For the end of this year, we have 3 more shows. We have 3 shows, and then that's it. The end of the Tejano tour. That was the name of our tour, the Tejano tour.
Yes,
will be over. We've only got 3 more shows, and then that's it. And then we start up a new tour
for this new album.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
This new, whatever. I mean, we're just gonna revamp the whole show again, and start adding a lot of the newer songs that we haven't been able to sit down and practice.
Well, Elida, I've been looking for y'all in Dallas for a while now. I know Milo said, "Hey, we're going to be out there soon, man." But by any chance, anytime around the corner, is Dallas around the corner?
I know Lalo's been talking to a few promoters out in the Dallas area. We just have to, I guess, settle on a price and
date. Exactly, the most important parts, right? Yeah, for sure.
But then again, come February, March is when all the festivals start back up. So
yeah. Gracias a Dios, work is coming.
Yes.
The most important part, ¿verdad? And then we have New Year's to look forward to.
Yes, I know we're doing Fiesta in February or March in San Antonio. We have a couple of shows in San Antonio for that. And then a lot of festivals that are going to be coming up.
Beautiful.
A lot of things coming up. A lot of good things, positive things.
That's great. Great.
The mariachi album that we're going to be working on too in the new year as well, in the Tejano.
Perfect. Pues te pido un favorcito, if you can, when you finish your album, let me know, because I definitely want to push it here, as well as that one with mariachi. Would love to do that. Elida, any special shout outs before we leave?
I just want to say that I'm just so grateful to all the Dallas fans, and just thank you for being fans of ours for what it's already been 30 plus years. And I just thank you wholeheartedly for just supporting our music, and for also supporting my makeup line, which, by the way, they can go to shop.elidareynayavante.com. And right now we have makeup. We have makeup bundles in case you're interested in buying. We have eyeshadows. We have eyelashes. We also have a little bit of merchandise too, like t-shirts, caps, CDs, all that good stuff. Well.
So the website, they can go and kind of select, is there like packages they can put together, Elida, for the makeup line?
Like little bundles that they can do.
Perfect.
With the eyelashes and the eyeshadow palette.
All right, I got to ask you this now, not to put you on the spot, okay, but are you planning on doing anything for maybe like a Christmas promotion or something like that you may have around the corner?
I'm doing that next week. So
next week. So stay tuned to your platforms, and you'll be announcing, no, probably?
I'm on all my social
media.
Yeah, social media platforms. Sorry. Yes. The Elida Reyna Avante fan page, which, by the way, I want to invite you in case you're not a friend of ours on our fan page, because we're always announcing new things, what we're going to be performing, like what's new, what's coming up with Elida Avante, and we also have Snapchat, TikTok, as well Instagram. I always forget Instagram, but yes.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, muchísimas gracias, Elida. Thank you so much for spending this time with us here at the podcast. Truly grateful for your time. Bendiciones y suerte in the studio. I know it's going to be a huge success. Until next time, my friend, we'll see you, okay? This episode is brought to you by Avante party rentals, and catering. Let Avanti help you with your party or wedding needs. From tables, chairs, plates, silverware, to a full catering service, Avanti can take care of it all. Call us at 214-680-5521 for a free quote, and let Avanti take care of all your needs so you can enjoy your festivities.